Hello, it's Ben with the DIY Homefront, and summer has begun and the battle of the mowers has started. The belt broke on my zero turn, and that was on Monday, and now it's Saturday and I can't even get it to start. So, let's get into this. So the mower was making some pretty ugly sounds, and I thought one of the bearings and one of the spindles had gone bad, but it turned out to be just the belt. And I have a replacement belt, but it won't do any good if I can't get the lawnmower started. So let's see if I can't show you the problem. So we've got full throttle. That's depressing one switch. That's depressing the other switch. It's all the way the parking brake is on. The key's there, and nothing at all. So I've got some tools, and there is the battery.
And I'm going to use this voltmeter to check the battery.
So the battery has 10.4 volts.
So that's not too far off of 12 volts. So I'm not sure if the battery is going to be the problem.
It's not great, but it's got some voltage.
Once I get this screw removed, I should be able to get to the starter solenoid. And that should bypass any safety features the lawnmower has.
Here's the starter solenoid.
I also checked the fuse with the multimeter, and it was good. I've disconnected the lead that went to the starter solenoid from the battery, and I'm cleaning it to make sure that it's got a good contact. I'll disconnect the lead that goes to the starter and clean it, along with the contacts on the starter solenoid itself, and then I'll reassemble everything. Well, after I got everything back together, it still wouldn't start. So I went and found a piece of copper wire, and I went straight from the positive terminal on the battery to the starter motor. And that didn't do anything either. So I figured maybe being out in the rain that some water had gotten inside of the starter motor and the starter motor was bad. I don't think I mentioned that, but the couple of days it was out in the yard, it rained like crazy.
Well, I tried a bunch of different stuff, and some of it was off camera, and it didn't make any sense to me, because everything seemed like it should be working right. So I started going through all my spare parts looking for a starter solenoid, and all I found was a starter motor. And then I tried this.
I'm a very visual person. I think visually, I troubleshoot visually. So I'm going to take this starter and hook it up to this lawnmower and see if it works. And then I'll do the same thing again on my zero turn lawnmower and see if I can get it to work over there.
This starter motor is hooked straight to the battery. So look what happens. See how we have movement?
So now the jumper cables are connected to my zero turn battery. And I shouldn't do this. You shouldn't touch the positive and negative leads. It's bad on a battery. But you should see sparks when you do it. And there are no sparks. There's nothing. So let's see what happens when I try to do the test with the starter.
Although your voltmeter showed it had juice, you don't think it's got enough juice.
I think my battery is dead, is what I think.
So let's see if I can jump start this mower, and it truly was just a dead battery. It's hard to hear it over the engine of the other lawnmower, but it tried to turn over 3 times. It was just really weak, so I'm going to put this on the battery charger. So the first day I couldn't get it started. One of the things that I thought might be the problem was the ignition switch and key. So I ordered a new one. We might as well go ahead and put it in.
Now, when I first started having this problem, I wasn't sure if this might have been it, because it's in terrible shape. So I went ahead and ordered another one.
$16 and some change from Amazon, and it came the next day. These are really easy to replace. Basically, you just unplug the old one and plug in a new one.
One plugs and one plugs. Make sure it's on there nice and tight. And it goes back in, clickety click. And now we've got a key that should fit in and turn it. Yep, that one's pretty boogered up.
Well, I'm sorry the camera's pointing at the ground, but that is the battery charger, and it did its job. It charged the battery up while I swapped out that belt. And now my wife is going to start the mower up.
Boy, the yard sure looks a lot better with the grass cut. Well, I think one of two things happened. Either water got in here and shorted it out and it thought it was on and that drained the battery. Or it rained so hard that we ended up creating a little lake on top of the battery and that allowed the terminals to short out through the water. Well, I've got it parked underneath where the battery charger is. And I'll give it a couple days and I'll come out here and see if it starts up. And if it does, we'll just keep moving on. And if it doesn't, I'll buy a battery for it then. Until that time, like, subscribe, check out those playlists, and I'll see you in another video.